All right, welcome everybody to another episode of the Channel 135 podcast. This is the show we talk about our favorite things in life, movies, TV series, and pop culture. I'm your host, Cams, and I'm here after Usos. We've got Eric coming straight out of Ranui. What's up, bro?
What's up, man?
Good to have you on again on the panel, and the brother from our podcast, the 135 Footy Show, Bobby. What's up, boss?
Those brothers. Let's get it on.
It's good, man. It's good. We are here to talk about the finale of the Knights of the Seven Kingdoms, which we were fooled because there are actually 9 kingdoms. They did a title change at the end of the episode. Night of the 9 Kingdoms. Yeah, man. The series, the 6-episode series, finished on Monday, and we're here to talk about the finale. But before we get into that, Usos, just a little bit of housekeeping. This is the Channel 135 podcast. Follow us on our socials. We're on Instagram and TikTok under the West Movies and TV. Also, check out our website, westwestnet.com. You can find all the articles on there, our sport articles, some movie reviews, and links to the rest of our podcasts on the network. And yeah, man, and don't forget our group page, Channel 135 group page on Facebook. If you want to leave some comments or some movies you want us to review, just stick it in there and we'll see what we can do. But yeah, man, thanks boys for jumping on the last episode of the series. But yeah, before we get into that, man, we just watched the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. This is the full first trailer. Man, I'll get you guys first thoughts on that, because I think for me the series has been great. I think season 1 has been really good. It was sort of like a fresh year because of all the not so great series we've been getting out of Disney's Star Wars. It's sort of like one of the better series to come out. Season 2 was good as well. Season 3 was a bit no, it wasn't as good as season 1 and 2, so I don't know if they were slipping. But there were rumors and reports of Disney trying to do a Avengers treatment to the Star Wars series. They were going to do Mandalorian, obviously, and Boba Fett, and then Ahsoka, and then make a movie combining all those characters into one. And the main villain was going to be Admiral Thrawn. But I'm not sure if those plans are still going ahead. We've got this Mandalorian and Grogu movie instead, and I guess they're trying to put something in the movie theater, and they've chosen a story or series that's been successful for them. So it probably makes sense that they make Mandalorian and Grogu into a movie, just for Disney to try and capitalize on that at the box office. But yeah, man, I'll get your thoughts first, Eric. What are your thoughts on the Mandalorian Grogu story, the series, and the new movie coming up?
Okay. Yeah, we're just watching that trailer. I think the first thing I get straight off the bat is fun. It looks like it's gonna be a whole lot of fun. Like, kind of reminds me a little bit of Skeleton Crew, but yeah, I see a lot of fun in that trailer. The story itself, like you said, the first 2 seasons were good. My favorite season, I reckon, was probably the second. Man, that season was so awesome. I loved it a lot. Yeah, having the Mandalorian, because I didn't know much about them even before the show came out, and during the show I didn't even know much about Mandalorians. I only knew what I saw in, I think it was Star Wars Rebels, because there was a lot of Mandalorian content. So yeah, I didn't read any of the lore stuff either for Star Wars. So I was just mainly all the stuff I got from was from the TV shows and that. So, but yeah, I like the Mandalorian and Grogu's TV show. It's a different take on Star Wars and the partnerships between with the Mandalorian and Grogu. like the little Yoda baby they're calling him lately. So yeah, he's kind of cute. I can see why the industry put him in there. Is the cute factor for the show.
Yeah, so they can sell some toys.
Yeah, of course, with all the kids, that will be wanting to watch this movie, and all the merchandise they can sell from there too. So it's I forgot if there was any other show that I could think of, but not on top of my head right now. But so yeah, I'm keen to watch it. I can't wait. Yeah, it's probably the better Star Wars thing at the moment, apart from Ahsoka. Gotta wait for Ahsoka season 2. I don't know when that's coming out. So yeah, it's probably the only two things I'm looking forward in the Star Wars franchise. So yeah, for this show.
Yeah, this will be the first Star Wars movie since the Han Solo one, which was sort of ages ago, right? So I think they've backtracked on getting their content off streaming TV series and going back to the movies. But what are your reactions to Mandalorian and Grogu being a movie?
Yeah, it's a good idea to do it. It's kind of like the reverse of Andor coming off the back of the success of Rogue One. Like Rogue One was this great standalone Star Wars movie, and then off the back of that, Andor came out as like a prequel, and that TV series was amazing as well. So this is kind of like the backwards version of it, because they try to wait to see if The Mandalorian as a TV series was going to be good enough, I suppose. And it has been. It's been probably one of the most successful TV outings for Star Wars related content. And because of that, rightfully so, they're going to make more money. They turn it into a movie and release it on a big sort of worldwide type budget. And I understand their apprehension about wanting to release big movies, because Solo, I thought, was a massive flop, man. Like, they took these really beloved characters and they had all this potential to do great things. Like with anything Star Wars, there's always a potential, right? Because the original trilogy was so successful. It was like this brand new thing. The universe is humongous. You can tell some really great stories, and Andor is a good example of that. Or you can tell some really crappy stories, or just have people have really poor takes on it. I don't know how you can stuff up Star Wars stuff, but you can. I mean, look at the sort of main trilogies ones, like great original trilogy. The prequels were a bit hit and miss, and then like the 7, 8, and 9 were a bit. Man, let's rewind and mulligan those last 3 movies, man. Again, the potential for stuff to be amazing is humongous, but then also, with the fan base that Star Wars has, the potential for it to be really shit and to get absolutely wasted by the fan base is super high as well. So, making a movie out of Grogu and Mandalorian just makes sense. And you sort of alluded to the selling merchandise and stuff, because, man, I don't know how many baby Grogus I've seen in stores. He's a plush toy, he's a Lego toy, he's a puzzle, he's everything, and similarly Mandalorian, he's like a Halloween helmet now. He's everything.
A motorcycle. I think I saw a guy wearing it as a helmet on the bike. So yeah.
Oh yeah. So the trailer I thought was really cool. Similar to Eric, there's a bit of lightheartedness to it. There's a bit of fun to it, like Skeleton Crew. But I think there's probably a bit more to like about it, because Skeleton Crew I thought fell off a bit because it was really super dependent on the children actors to carry the bulk of that story, and then Jude Law coming in, intermittently, and then his character, you didn't kind of know whether he was good or bad. He was force sensitive, and then they didn't kind of develop that, and then he was a baddie in there, and I was like, that sucked. whereas this one, it's like you've got Grogu, who's that young element that appeals to all the kids, the funny sort of stuff. But then his interactions with the Mandalorian is, that whole dynamic is what carried that TV show. And the first few seasons of that were really amazing. And then it was like, I think they could see that Boba Fett wasn't doing so well, so they just chucked like a whole Mandalorian arc into Boba Fett to like lift the ratings of Boba Fett season 2 or whatever it was, or the first season. Can't even remember. That's how poor it was. Like Boba Fett for me is really forgettable, and that's a shame. But I think it just came a bit too late. Tim's like in his almost 60. He's in his 60s. He's not the Boba Fett actor of 1999. So
yeah, true.
He can't run around or do those things that he was doing in the Phantom Menace or those earlier movies that he was in. There was a lot of him just casually walking around, getting in a Bacta tank, and then just stay there in your bath and heal or whatever it is he had to do. So I'm looking forward to it too. It's going to be an exciting entry into the Star Wars universe. The story looks cool. He talks about how he's not going to be around for as long as Grogu's going to be. So it looks like it's setting up Grogu for like the future. Like, hey, learn all you can of me now, because I'm not going to be around to protect you all the time. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, sure, bro. I'm looking forward to it too. Just like our generation of Star Wars fans, I love anything Star Wars that comes on at the movies. I watch everything, and I'll just to be disappointed at the end. And I'll continue to do that, be disappointed, but I'll still go to watch these films. But hopefully this is cool. This movie will be alright, as long as they get back to, or some semblance of what they did, the formula in season 1. Because I like that era in the Star Wars history, in the Star Wars timeline, like the era after Return of the Jedi, when the Empire is sort of scattered around the galaxy, trying to put their pieces back together, sort of thing. And yeah, I thought that was an interesting era. We don't know what's going on with Han Solo and all them at that time. Luke Skywalker, but yeah, I just find it interesting that we can explore different parts of the universe and still have what's going on with the Empire and all that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the film. Sweet. Also, so yeah, man, we'll put that aside and we'll talk about what we came here for. The Night of the Seven Kingdoms finale episode. And to get everyone into the know, this is spoiler alert. So if you haven't watched the episode, suggest you stop this podcast right now. Go watch the episode, come back, listen to us. We're about to break it down, the Channel 1 through 5 episode recap.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Alright, episode 6, The Morrow, directed by Sarah Adina Smith, written by Ira Parker and T. McHale. Lionel invites Dunk to move to Storm's End, but Dunk believes that he brings only bad luck. Baylor's body is cremated at his funeral. Dunk finds Vela, who questions why his father died, but Dunk is left alive. Raymond reveals he has married the prostitute Rowan. Maker informs Dunk that Arian will spend time in the Free Cities to atone. He laments that Baylor would have been a good king and invites Dunk to live in Summer Hall, where Egg can be his squire. Dunk declines, which Egg overhears. In a flashback, Dunk asks Arlen why he was never knighted. Arlen retorts that a true knight always finishes the story. In the present, Daron tells Dunk that he should mentor Egg to prevent him from becoming like Arian. Egg discovers that his hair is regrowing. He takes a knife to Arian's bedroom, but Maker calms him down. Dunk asks Maker if Egg can squire for him on the road, which Maker refuses. Raymond buys Sweetfoot back for Dunk, who then gives her to Raymond. As Dunk leaves Ashford, Egg arrives and they depart together. Egg suggests that they travel to Dawn. An angry Maker later realizes that Egg is gone, and that was your Channel 1 through 5 episode recap. All right, boys. The finale. We're here. We've made it. Did the writers and creators land the plane, Bob?
I think so. Like, you know, we talked about how, penultimate episode, big massive battle scene. Last episode is the aftermath, right? And it, even though it was such a different episode to the previous one, in terms of tone, in terms of like intensity, like all of that is turned off. Like it's gone right down, and now we're sort of seeing, feeling all this guilt about Baylor passing away. So all of the expectation of the whole season so far comes to this, oh, what the hell's going to happen? And it kind of went like this in the last episode, and then it's kind of come down a little bit, and then it's like, is there a little going up at the end? I don't know. It's like, it kind of just stopped. And this is where that whole half-hour format kind of killed it for me, because I felt like there needed to be a bit more, but it just kind of ends on them going off on the road, and then it sort of makes you realize how much they managed to pack into those previous half-hour episodes, because you don't notice the time as much. This one, for me, I felt like I noticed the time being really short. They probably used lots of sort of production tricks, flashbacks and all of that sort of stuff in previous episodes to sort of keep you engaged. This one, the story was really linear, and there was only that one sort of flashback scene where he goes back to Alan, and then kind of reveals that, why didn't you knight me? Suddenly this guy's not a knight, and because you thought Alan, that's where he died, and then comes back to life, and it's like, okay, or maybe he did knight him after this. Is he a knight? Did he get knighted? That whole question is still sort of, I think the creators of the show are making you sort of play around with that. Like, you don't really know whether he is a knight, properly knighted or not. But they've hinted at it that he might not have been properly knighted. This episode, there was that one earlier on where the Baratheon guy is knighting Raymond, and then here's a flashback to Alan, and I don't know the words. And then Alan's like shrugging his shoulders, like, I don't know the words either. So I was like, is he really a knight? But I mean, that whole guilt trip that he's sort of going through and that he's feeling, that's Duncan. That's his character that we've come to sort of experience over the course of the series. I probably have to walk back some of my comments again from last week, talking about all of that stuff, that flea bottom scene. I was like, oh, that must be true to the books and things. Man, I need to do some research before I come on these shows, because I was like, is that part of the books? No, they only chuck those scenes in there to sort of flesh out Dunk's character and give you a bit of an idea of why Dunk is the way he is, and this is how he met Alan. But the whole sort of book is actually just based in the tournament, and all of these flashbacks and stuff that you're getting is just creative, creative filming. Yeah. They're just wanting to give a bit more of a fleshed out look to the character. But there was lots of stuff happening in this one. You kind of get to see Maker. He was an asshole the whole time, and as soon as his brother dies, there's all of a sudden this regret. He's now feeling partly a bit stink that his brother's died, but more so, oh, now everyone's going to hate me. They're going to call me like, you killed your brother. That's going to follow me around the whole time. And when I become king and something happens, everyone's going to be like, oh, if his brother was still alive, that wouldn't have happened. He's got this real complex now about what it's going to be like when he finally ascends to the throne. And it's like, Tully, your brother just died, and all you're thinking about is, what are people going to think of me in the future? It's like, you selfish bastard. But, there is that one comment that he makes when Dunk's requesting that he take Egg with him on the road, and he's like, he's my last son. And I was watching that, and I rewatched it again. I was like, what does he mean by that? This is his last son. Has he already written off the other two, that those guys are just bastards? And, I'm just going to put, pardon the pun, put all of his eggs into one basket with his youngest son, because that's the one that you can probably see the most potential in, the most kingly qualities, the least spoiled. I don't know. There's all sorts of egg puns, right? Like he's going to be the least spoiled egg. Get it? Nah. but yeah, I enjoyed it, but it did feel like it kind of just ended. I really like that ending bit where it's the two of them, and then all of a sudden you see Alan on his horse, and he kind of just goes off into the field, and I was like, oh, that's a nice little scene to sort of show that that time with Alan and Alan being with him during the tournament. I think it's like spiritually, you don't need me anymore. You've now got this responsibility to look after Egg as your squire, and now I'm gonna go off into the afterlife. And I think Alan's done his job. We'll talk more as the episode goes on, but I thought it was a pretty good way to wrap up the series.
Yeah, your point about Egg, how his dad asked him, my last son. I took away from that was that's his last son that's probably hasn't got the same influences as his older two. Like Arian, he's like a dickhead. He's a spoiled brat. And Darian, he's like a drunk, or he's not interested in anything. He doesn't have the passion for it. So I think Egg being his youngest, he hasn't been exposed to anything bad stuff. So he's like the last son, as in this is my last chance for have a son that could be a good king. I thought that's what he meant by that.
Yeah,
but,
I thought the same too.
Because he also hinted that in Darian, when Darian showed up at the bar, remember? And Dunk was there, and Dunk went up to him and said, "What the hell are you doing here?" And like, blah blah blah. And Darian sort of told Dunk about, my brother, he's a monster, and Dunk goes, Egg's not a monster, and Darian goes, no, I wasn't talking about him. I was talking about my other brother, but he was a good guy. Like he mentioned something about he was a good guy before that.
Yeah.
So maybe something along the way, because that's what made Dunk go back to make it the end, because he realized that if Egg continues on the path where his older brothers, he'll probably become a selfish guy too. So that's why he wanted to take Egg away. Because he said, he's not a prince yet. I can take him as my squire. I can go and we can live off the land, and he can learn all that stuff. And his dad and Mako's like, no, shut up! I'm not gonna let my son sleep on the floor, like on the grass and all that shit. He's not a peasant, like. So that was the conflict there. So, so that was.
I like Dunk's line to that where he goes, "Well, Darian never slept in a ditch, and and Arian, the only beef he ate was always
changed something.
rare,
he changed something,
rare and bloody." Yeah,
and maybe get a different outcome.
Yeah.
I think get a better outcome.
Yeah, because Darian probably saw that as well, seeing his brother changing from a cool dude to a freaking asshole. So he probably didn't want the same outcome for Egg.
Yeah.
So it might be better off going with Sir Duncan.
Yeah, I thought this episode was a typical Game of Thrones end of season episode, where you've had the penultimate one, where there's the big battle, and then there's just the aftermath. Pick up the pieces, who's left alive, and the reactions of everyone that survives the penultimate, and then there's a bridge to the next season at the end. They sort of set up next season, and that's what happened with this one. Like we find out that Egg is now rejoined with Dunk, but we think that his dad Mako allowed him to go, but he didn't. And that was a funny part. When they're leaving, and Mako's going, "Hey, where's Egg? Where the hell's Egg?"
Yeah, I knew he didn't. As soon as I saw Egg come out of the bushes, Dad said I could go. I was like, no, he didn't. This guy's being sneaky, man.
Yeah, he's too clever, eh? He's way too clever.
Yeah. So, I think for that, as soon as I realized like this typical Game of Thrones episode for the last episode for each season, I thought, okay, cool. I knew what I was gonna get. And then that just made me reflect on the season as a whole. And I thought, everything we talked about on this podcast about the show, how different it is, how good it is. The storytelling is really good. The characters are good too. Yeah, man, it just makes me sort of anticipate what's gonna happen in season 2. Like I can't wait for season 2. And maybe House of Dragon, when that comes out, I'm like, hurry up and get to season 2 of in the Nine Kingdoms now, because I thought that was pretty cool. It reminded me of when you watched Thunderbolts, and there's an asterisk on the title of Thunderbolts, but at the end of Thunderbolts it's the New Avengers, so it's like a title change. It reminded me of that, because it's sort of a, because the series A Night of Seven Kingdoms has comedy elements to it. The whole thing about getting the number of kingdoms wrong in the whole series, that was the joke. Because we got fooled. Like everybody thought there were 7, but no, there's 9. And Egg tells us in the last episode, no, there's 9, and he names all the different kingdoms, and there is 9 of them. And Dunk says, no, everyone says it's 7, and everyone's wrong. So we're wrong. So it's funny when we get the new heading, Night of 9 Kingdoms at the end. So I thought that was pretty clever and pretty funny. Yeah, and that was the tone of the whole season, man. Like the lightheartedness of it. It can be brutal, and that was the cool thing about the series, that it can be brutal like Game of Thrones. It can go into that area, but it'll also give us a lighthearted side of things, and it shows us different parts of the universe, especially this part, and gives us a different side of the tone and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was a good episode in terms of when I talked about did the creators land the plane. I thought technically so efficient. Like Bob, you talked about how they wrap it up in half an hour. Like these are only half an hour episodes, but it's so efficient that you get everything. You get a whole character arc, you get a whole storyline, you get everything.
Oh no!
You get background and everything in half an hour. It's like, what the hell? Like you could actually binge watch 6 episodes and treat it like a 3-hour movie or 3.5-hour movie, like a long movie, and it's perfect, right? It's perfect. So yeah, there's so many things that they did differently to the other Game of Thrones stuff, that this one actually worked, and it worked well. And when you talked about when you compared the skeleton crew with the young kids, and Jude Law as the adult looking after the young kids, and we see Mandalorian and Grogu, adult looking after the young kid, Dunk looking after the young kid, Egg. This one works much better than all those other ones. So
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I'm
we'll
just
do
glad.
At the end of the podcast, we'll do a season ranking out of 10. But
I'm just glad they wrapped it up really good. They wrapped it up really nice. And most seasons, when they end, there's just like too much preparation for the next season. Yeah, but this one, it just closes off this story, and now we're gonna be gifted the season 2. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
One of the funny things that happened for me in this episode was the character arc of Raymond. Because if we did like who won the episode, I reckon he won it. He won it because he ends up with a wife, with a kid on the way.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's gotten rid of his cousin. He's now making his own house, the Granny Smith apples, and he's taking over his dad's cider business. So he's set up, he's set up now. Like he's become a knight. He's on the right side of the battle, the battle of the 7 or whatever they call it. Yeah, man, he's the man. I think he won the episode. But I don't know about his wife though, because she's a sex worker, and I don't know if that's his kid. Like, is that his kid? Oh, no, she was pregnant, so it can't be. It can't be his kid,
I don't know how they work it out. How they, after they've done what they've done, and work out when the lady's pregnant. But yeah, it's crack up. That's fucking funny, bro.
But it's Westeros, man. No one cares about that. No one cares about whose baby is who's in Westeros. Everybody's doing incest and all that kind of stuff. Like
that just adds another of those comical elements to the show when that whole interaction where he's like, "Oh, this is my wife," and then Doug's like,
Oh. Yeah.
and then, "Oh, it's nice to meet you, Sir Duncan." Like, yes.
Yeah, I've already met this one before, but you know.
and they're showing affection in front of Duncan. They like their passion in front of him.
Yeah.
when he introduced her.
Because the first time you see Raymond, he's getting his ass kicked all over the sort of the tourney ground by his cousin. He's sort of practicing on him, but just being a real dick, like just smashing him around with the sword. And that's your first introduction to Raymond. To now you see him, he's got street cred now. He's survived the first trial of 7 in 100 years.
Yeah.
He's like, and he must have done something right because he would have had to defend himself to stay alive. So,
hold on.
Those other guys that got a bit more speaking lines or laughing at them two spewing up, those guys are dead. Like that B guy, those guys aren't dead. But Raymond, all of that training with his cousin must have paid off because he kept his ass alive during that trial. So, yeah, he's got like street cred. He's got a missus now. He's I had no squire. I had no squire, and she helped me out of my armor. It's like, okay, and something else, but sure.
No, he's gonna step up as a father. He's gonna step up. Baby come out with blonde hair.
A 9-pound baby.
Yeah.
Hey, Sir Duncan.
Dornish baby.
Yeah, there's heaps of. There's a lot of funny moments, even in the very start, when Duncan's getting treated by that maester.
Yeah,
and fuck, he's got like dirty hands. He's poking his finger in the wound and he smells it.
He's dying. He's dying.
And the bathroom guy, fuck off.
Yeah,
that's not what you're talking about.
That was a pretty cool offer though from Sir Lionel. Like he was trying to tell Dunk, hey, come and hang out with me, bro.
Yeah, come hang out with me.
Drinking shit and just do stupid shit. Like it's like he was looking for a friend.
Oh well, he's I think he's grateful that Dunk got him to fight in the trial of 7.
Yeah, it looks like he had a lot of fun. He was just
happy to be fighting against the King's Guard and all that, like that. Because he's one of the haters of the royal family, so.
Yeah, he's a hater, all right.
He's a hater.
Fuck, yeah, big time.
He didn't fight for you. We fought for you.
Shit, yeah, harder. That comment alone shows how much he had.
Yeah.
And then the timing from that scene transitioning over to the funeral, like the last thing that Lionel says was, "Are we gonna go? Let's go." After we have a roast, and then the scene shoots to the cremation.
Yeah, I thought he meant an actual meal. But when the next scene showed up, I was like, oh, I think that's what he meant by roast. And I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, that was funny.
So Doug shows up to the funeral and he confronts the son, the eldest son of Baylor. And man, he's sad, man. Who wouldn't be if I'd have died? And he tells Dunk, oh man, don't know why the gods left you alive when my dad would have been a good king and all that kind of stuff. And tells him to get lost there. Like if I was him, I'd have every right to blame Dunk. Or who do you blame? Who do you blame for the death of Baylor? Is it just on Baylor's head? Because his decision, he didn't have to go in, but he did. Like, who do you blame? Because Dunk blames himself.
This highlights that whole religious aspect of, the whole Game of Thrones universe. They talk about the 7. They keep referring to the 7. Even when you get knighted, they refer to the 7 in those vows that you have to take. So it's, even though people have died and it seems like the person that should have died is now alive, even though they don't like what's happened, they're more accepting of it because it's like, oh shit, well, why did the gods leave you alive? There must be a reason, So that's just part of the law, part of their culture, part of their, I don't know if you can call it religion. It's more a cultural thing, I think.
Well, it's an honor thing too, well.
Yeah.
To be a knight.
It's a super accepted thing. It's like, no, they went into a trial that is ordained by the gods and, come out of it real Klingon style. It's like, you either die with honor or you'll live, and then you share in the spoils of war. So, yeah, they just accepted it. And I don't think there isn't anyone to blame, but you can see when Dunk in the early scenes where he's walking through the whole encampment and everyone's kind of like looking at him, doing those whispers, it's his fault that Baylor's dead, it's his fault, and then even Maker refers to it in that conversation where he goes, everyone's going to blame me for, now that I'm the next in line to the throne, they're going to blame me for my brother dying, but they're also going to blame you because you're the one that was on trial and he came and fought for you, so they're both equally to blame. They kind of blame each other in that scene. Yeah.
Yeah, Mecca kept on calling them hedge knight. Hedge knights. It's like, bro, Seko.
Yeah, he can't believe a hedge knight was the reason why this happened. No, but he has to accept it too.
Start of the legend.
Yeah, I thought, that scene when he talked to the son at the funeral, I thought that was a bit heartbreaking. Just putting myself in the son's shoes, like my dad's dead. So Dunk, you know what? Get the fuck out of my face, man. I don't want to see you here. Get off. But yeah, man, that that's interesting, eh? The questioning of the honor stuff, eh? The questioning of whatever that was, the religion or being a knight, or what you're trying to fight for, or even though the result doesn't go, the result is not what anybody that's still alive wanted. Like, no one. It's like everyone has lost. Like, Baylor dying means everybody that was in there was no winners there. Everyone has lost. So it's sad. It's like, he was probably the only person that could do that if he died, and he did die. So yeah, that's an interesting thing that happened there.
Well, it changes the whole course of the kingdom, right? Like, now Maker's the heir, and everyone's kind of looking at Maker now, and then they can see that he was always a dick when Baylor was the hand, and they kind of just didn't really give a shit about Maker because they thought, Baylor's all right. Yeah, when he becomes the next king, maybe it'll be not too bad, because it looked like Baylor was the one of the conscience. He was the one that had a bit more honorable intention. And Maker was just a dick from the beginning, telling Dunk to, F off now. Yep, cool. We've signed you up. Now get lost. Now that he's the heir, everyone's kind of like, so all of that, that hatred that, Eric talked about in earlier parties about how people are just hating on the Targaryens, man, that's probably going to become even worse now because they know that Maker's a dick and they've seen his sons be dicks. They understood that, this was between Dunk and Aerion, and it was Aerion that countered Dunk's, trial by combat, trial by 7. He was the one that chickened out of 1-on-1, and now his uncle's dead. So there's that sort of thing that's going around. It's like, did he do it on purpose? There'll be all these sorts of unanswered questions that just common peasant folk are going to be whispering and talking about. And I was like, that guy, he could have taken on Sir Duncan 1-on-1, but he didn't. He was too chicken. Was that a ploy? Was it a ploy by him and his dad to try and, get onto that side? Although I suppose not really, because no one would have known that Baylor was going to turn out for Duncan's side in that Battle of the Seven. So
yeah,
I guess with him going to fight for Duncan's side, there's no suspicion on anyone's part, because it's like, he wanted to fight with Dunk. He's dead now, and Lionel calls it at the beginning, God's gods don't favor frauds or something.
Yeah.
Because we fought for years. He's fighting against guys that are sworn to protect him. So, we're fighting 7 guys. He's only really fighting 1, his brother, because no one else is gonna, try and fight against the prince. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Sir Lionel was trying to say in that conversation to Duncan, like, bro, don't blame yourself. Baylor put himself there. So, don't be so thinged about it. And of course, Sir Lionel didn't even like the royal family.
He also put into Dunk's head, you know what? Fuck this family, man. Let's just go. Let's go.
yeah. Basically, yeah.
And
in a nice way.
And that's why Dunk said, I'm done with these princes, man. But, man, it was his love for Egg that brought him back. Like, knowing he had a chance to save Egg in terms of, like, not put Egg on a path where he turns out like his older brothers. Like, that was the only reason why Dunk wanted them back, and sort of, like, save him.
Oh, lucky too, because that scene where Egg is like, shit, Egg was gonna go stab his brother. Remember how he was creeping to the room?
Yeah, that was a Italian scene, because that scene I thought was all about Maker. Like, when we first meet Maker, he's a bit of a dick. You know, he's gone through some emotional stuff. He killed his own brother, and then, what does it mean when he's by the bedside of his son Arian, and his younger son shows up with a knife, ready to stab him, and he goes up to him and puts his arm around him like a father. Like, how does that change him? Or did that change him? Did that tell him that, shit, the cycle continues? My son's about to kill my other son. Like, I don't want that to happen. Like, what do you think is going through his mind, Eric?
I actually thought if Egg went through it, he'll end up like the brother. But because he was stopped before he could even probably comprehend it, that maybe the father saved him. That's what I got.
Or what did he realize? He must have realized something, because he was kind of like his eyes closed when he was holding them.
Yeah.
You got any thoughts on that, Bob?
I reckon he came to the tournament in one state of mind. I'm just going to get pissed. I'm going to, watch some jousting or whatever. And now the tournament's finished, and it's like, fuck, now I'm the heir to the throne. Now I need to fucking step up. Now I need to probably replace my brother as hand. And now there's all this other shit that is now falling on him, which he kind of didn't really care about. He was Harry. And, William was ahead of him. But now William's dead, and all of a sudden Harry's like, say, shit, now I've got to be the responsible one. Or at least that's what I think. But yeah, you're right. He's just gone through this turmoil of losing his older brother by his own hand. So seeing that scene sort of play out, watching his youngest boy come in with real hatred for his older brother and wanting to kill him, I don't know what Arian did to Dunk for him to hate him so much, or maybe he's just a dick in general. But that's quite an intense response. Even if you don't like your older brother, like, there must have been something real bad that happened to to Egg from his older brother for him to react that way. I don't know, but that's how it seems, right? Like the character screaming, kill him!
And then finding out later,
like,
brother.
Hey. Yeah, it's like, whoa, okay. So this guy he really hates his brother. And I don't think they've kind of explored the why that is, and I don't know if Maker knows why that is and why he's sort of feeling a bit sorry for his son. I don't know. I just thought they really did a massive 180 with Maker's character in this last episode. There were bits of him that was being a dick, but the majority of it, he was like being this compassionate dad. He was being this understanding person to Dunk, where he talks about, he even gives kudos to Arlen, where he's like, oh, I know your master had all, you learn good stuff off him. But if you come and let Egg be your squire over at my place, then I'll get my master at arms, or whatever, to teach you some more.
Yeah,
He kind of gives respect to Alan in that scene where he talks about, yes, I know he's giving you some good training. Yeah, I suppose he had to acknowledge it because Duncan survived that trial. But not only that, through Alan's teaching, he didn't just chop his son's head off, or kill him. That would have ended that trial as well. But instead, he was like getting him to yield, and he's like, "Yeah, hurry up, submit, you fool, and say that you give up." He could have totally just killed him at the end of that battle, but he didn't.
He is grateful. I think he was more grateful than anything else that he spared his son.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that is a good point. Maybe he scored dunk some points there. He didn't kill his son. There's flashback scenes with Alan, and I don't know was part of the joke or not, but when he thought he was dead, when he dies on the tree, doesn't finish that story. And then Dunk starts to cry, and then he finishes the story. But that was a revelation, eh? Like, why didn't you knight me? Like, so we know now he's not a knight. He lied about a bird saw me get knighted. But this is a case of like, you don't need the qualifications. You got all experience. Are you a knight?
So he walked in, not a knight, and then he walks out, so Duncan the Thor. So it's like,
that explains why he didn't knight Raymond. Oh.
Yeah. He can knight him now.
He didn't know the words. He hasn't been knighted himself, so...
Well, he's probably earned it now,
yeah.
after that trial. So, I don't think anyone would now begrudge him calling him a knight, even if he wasn't knighted properly before. It's like, this guy walked in as a nothing, just not even on the list, and now he's walking out, trial by 7, survived, but from that trial, the whole kingdom has changed. The heir to the throne has died, and now he's probably going to get, charged for kidnapping the prince's son. I don't know.
Even the status in the hierarchy of the community now, it's a lot more higher than what it was when you first came in. So I don't think it'll be fair to call him a hedge knight anymore.
I would like to see the king's reaction when they get back to Dragonstone, or back to King's Landing. What the king? Crazy. Man, I thought you guys were going over there to watch some sports and come back. My son's dead.
Yeah, where is this? Also, where's this hedge knight?
Man, sweet boys. Is there anything else you guys want to discuss on this one?
No.
We'll move on to top
House of
10.
Dragons. 10. Top 10 episodes.
10 ranking. Oh yeah.
10 ranking.
Rating.
Rating. That's an easy 9 for me, bro.
Wait. I gotta preface this. So 10 is for elite status. In my books, only 2 series have elite status. That's Sopranos and The Wire. Number 9 is close to elite. Number 8 is good.
Yep, I'm number 9.
9? Why?
No, it's that good, bro. It's that good. In the short amount of time, like we've been saying, lately in the podcast, 30 minutes. Fuck, you get a lot in these episodes, in every single episode almost, and you get it. Like, you get the story, you get everything, you get the characters in just half an hour. And then it's like, man, that's pretty... I don't know if that's going to be the new thing now, but I don't know what it is. But the way they've done the show, it's really, really good, because you get a lot in half an hour. Especially with, I think it will probably have to be episode 5, where he has the flashback with the girl. Like, that whole thing had me in the roller coaster. And I didn't... straight off the bat, you don't know these characters. I mean, you know one, but, with the story in that, and then how it was processed, and how it was done, it's just like, I was already emotionally connected to the characters. So it's like, that's pretty quick. And that means that it was good. So yeah, there was stuff like that throughout the episodes that I found. So that's why I'm giving it a flipping 9. Straight 9, bro. Straight up.
How are you, Bob?
I'd probably give it a solid 8. Like an 8 because it's already kind of built off the back of an existing universe, right? So you kind of got stuff to compare it to. You've got Game of Thrones, you've got House of the Dragon. But they do a really good job of showing all those elements that you're already familiar with, but then introducing this really low peasant level Westeros that we've never seen before. The humor I thought was really good. The comedic stuff during the series, that was really cool to sort of have that side by side with all the violence and the brutality that you're used to seeing in Game of Thrones. So to have this real lighter sort of feel to this series, I thought was good. But yeah, I give it an 8 because even though they packed a lot into half an hour, I was like, man, I kind of felt like I wanted those episodes to be a bit longer, especially that last one. But they did a good job for the amount of time and super low budget that they must have put into it, because there's like hardly any CGI anything except for maybe the fight scene. But yeah, like they didn't need the big flashy CGI dragons or people getting roasted by dragonfire or super gory bloody battles to get a story across. Like I think this was just to establish who Dunk and who Egg were and the world around them and who the people are in their lives and how it is that they come to be. So season 2, I'm expecting a hell of a lot more because it's such a solid 8. It can only either build on that, and I don't want it to sort of flop and do those season 2 blues that some TV series get caught in. Like first season amazing, second season man. So you talked about Sopranos and The Wire, and there's heaps of series like that are all like original stories that you don't have any sort of anything to compare it to. It's just that each episode was so cool that it just built the universe and the story with each episode, and that was the cool thing about those series that you've mentioned. And so I enjoyed Night of the Seven Kingdoms for that reason, that it did build. We talked about each episode was getting better and better and better, but it wasn't unique building. They built inside this little tournament setting, but it wasn't an original build. It was like building on top of established TV series that we've already seen. But they did a great job, I thought.
Nice. Yeah, I give it a solid 8 as well. And the reason why it's not a 9 or a 10, the reason why it's not a 10, and I spoke about The Wire and Sopranos. I'm still watching The Wire and Sopranos. I'm still watching them. I'm still going on YouTube and watching clips of those series to this day, man. And I don't think I can do that for this series, for Night of Seven Kingdoms. Yeah, but it's good because like what we spoke of before, how different it is. The half an hour thing is pretty good too. It's like, I think technically it's really good. Like if you want to get a half an hour in, if you got a busy day, you want to fit in half an hour of an episode, you can, and you still get all the story and everything. So that's pretty cool. But I think like you, Bob, like sometimes I wish there was a bit longer, I wish there was more. But then when you think about it, it's only in one place. It's where the tournament happens. So you can't really have a big epic in one little small place, So it makes sense that the story is half an hour, built around this tournament in this one place. But yeah, man, just how efficient the storytelling is. You can cram all that stuff in half an hour. So that's pretty cool too. So yeah, I'm sort of torn between half an hour is good to get it over and done with, and putting some more stuff in there to enjoy it more, enjoy it a bit longer. But yeah, how can you do that if it's set in one place? Yeah, I'll give it a solid 8. And I think it's an 8. If I give this 8, then Game of Thrones and Hot D is probably below that, 6 or 7. So this is easily for me the best of the Game of Thrones stuff that's out now. So yeah, I'll give it a solid 8.
Praise. Yes.
Seki Usos, that's us, man. Thanks for coming on Channel 145 and breaking down Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I think season 2 is in production. So, yeah, looking forward to that. Hot D, the House of the Dragon, will be out soon. April, I think. So, yeah, man, probably get together and break those episodes down when it comes up. I'm looking forward to Daredevil season 2. So, The Born Again. So, that comes out next month, I think. Middle of next month. So,
Oh, in March.
yeah.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, I enjoyed half of season 1, the second half of season 1. Have you read the original story, the Born Again, Bob? Yeah, it's a Frank Miller one.
Is it comic?
Yeah,
Or canon?
yeah. It's one of Frank Miller's ones. It's one of the influential Daredevil stories, which I thought they were gonna do it for the TV series, but it wasn't. It's their own one, so they just used the name. But yeah, man, looking forward to that. Sweet boys, yeah, man, tune into Channel 135. We'll be back with some more insights from movies and TV series. Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Eric, for jumping on. See you guys next time. Bye.
Sweet.
Yep. See you.